Welcome to Sit in It, the podcast, with myself, Tracy A. Martin. I am a whole life hypnotherapist practitioner and life guide intuitive. And after, oh my gosh, over 15 years of being able to sit in this space, especially the neurological side, the brain, the mind, the emotions, intuitively, the whole four embodiments that are becoming the five embodiments, is where many of you have been trapped in what we call broken mind traps of old misinformation, that old beliefs, and is a part of the awakening journey. And Sit in It is specifically designed for you to sit in, contemplate, feel the feels, to be able to have an open mind to take a look at something you might not have looked at. And with what I do for a practice, it's really getting to the root. It's always getting to the root of where it becomes, where it came from, to help you dissect it or contemplate it or sit in it and observe it. And so what we do is we have everyone that is attracted to either be listening to the podcast, to be watching it, to want to be a part of it and actively interacting with it by sending your questions to support@livingwholeonpurpose.com. And that's where any of you that want to keep an alias so that you're able to have your questions answered and not feel like others may be knowing who you are. And just make sure you put that onto the question with your alias name or the name you want set. And so this week is very much loaded, and it was one specific question from a man named Steve. And let me read it to you right now so that I read it properly. And so it says, "Hello, Tracy. I enjoy all of the Sit in It podcasts. I found them online on YouTube and love the plethora of where it goes. Could you first tell me, number one, why you don't have any headings on them? Number two, my question is there stupid questions and stupid people? And I find it very hard on my awakening journey to try to awaken those that I love and those around me, and I'm very frustrated." And this is where a lot of people are right now, and that's why I want to talk to you very much about that. Number one, our ego part of our personality that loves to have control, that has an expectation, that loves to judge, and is continually set up for a place of failure, is where many people are. The first thing I want to say to that, Steve, is thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much for being a follower and watching and interacting today. And I love that you're on your awakening journey, because this is massive in this time. They call it the Great Awakening, but most people don't realize it's all the five embodiments of who you are, which is you mentally, you emotionally, you physically, you spiritually, and etherically, of the source of all that you are. And so some of you are on your awakening journey and you're very awake to the physical stuff you're seeing, whether it's chemtrails in the skies that you've, gone down that rabbit hole, understanding how impure the water is, food, the clothing, like all of the things. Then some of you are very much on your mental awakening, where you are seeing the propaganda, you're seeing the misinformation, and all of the hijacking of the mind that's been going on for hundreds of thousands of years. Fantastic brainwashing. Then you have people that are more awake on the emotional, where you're really feeling how people have been using manipulation and to manipulate your emotions into creating things that you do not want happening in your life. And then there's some on their awakening spiritually that are on that spiritual part of awakening and realizing that they are remembering the self compared to the me that you are, the self behind it, with the superconscious self behind that. And so all of these are a part of the awakening. What I want to stress very heavily is that I would love for all of you to realize you are not awake. You are awakening. And I will give you the analogy of it. When you believe that you are awake, that means that you have a finished destination, that you got there and that you don't need to expand any further. We will always be awakening. We're having an experience, myself as Tracy, as the me that I am, having an experience in a 3D plane of existence. I know nothing. I'm learning things, I'm remembering things, but I don't have a clue. And this helps you keep an open mind and an open heart because it gets you as the egoic you out of the way so that you can remember the whole self of the infinite that you are in the consciousness of all that is instead of what had just been playing and being manipulated on this 3D game. Is there stupid questions? No. If I have a question, and I will use this, and many of you will probably have a recall happen right away. For instance, I had a professor in high school, and he was so brilliant at math, but he had no idea how to relate it to someone that was learning. And so all of us had to have tutors because none of us could learn from him because he did not know how to relay it to you. And so whatever we asked for a question, he considered stupid because he knew it so well, he believed everyone else should just know it. Instead of knowing there's a process of the continuation of learning something to the knowing. And this is what's happening on all consciousness right now is we're going into the belief, into the knowing. And that is why many of you on this fantastic awakening don't know why, but there's a knowing within you that you are in the right place, right time, exactly on purpose. And the more in the awakening you become in your consciousness on all levels, you'll realize everything is on purpose. Everything, including you. And this starts to get rid of all of the false programming, even of the false spiritual reality that's out there, continually having you searching for yourself, searching for your purpose. Again, you are on purpose. So let's get to the root. Let's get to the root so that we can get further into Steve's question. You are an experience. Having experiences. Some are going to be what you want more of. Some are going to be what you do not want anymore. Kind of like a buffet table. I love using a buffet table as an example specifically because most people can get the analogy from it. I've got my plate. I'm not going to put on my plate what I know I don't like, but I am going to try things on my plate that I may not have tried before, depending on how it looks, how it tastes, how it smells, how my senses are around it. And if I push myself to try something new and know, yeah, I do want some more of that, or no, I'm good. I'm good with that. That was a great lesson to know. I've tried it. Good. I don't want it anymore. This is part of the whole awakening that's happening. Some of you are going to that buffet and you're wanting to have that experience because you need to know. And this takes us into Steve's question of, are there stupid questions or are there stupid people? There are no stupid questions because all it is someone trying to relate to understand. And most of us have been taught to respond instead of listening to hear, to try to help the two of you relate together. And that's why the sharing of too much information can happen and can put people asleep or make them go to the place of not wanting to know. But we know what and how does a program of how you run your life happen? Through repetition. So the planting of a seed is fantastic. And we know that wherever we show up is on purpose. Whether you say one word, your energy is showing up on purpose. If you are of service with your hands and showing up with your hands, or with the gift of speaking, or of just your presence, or of being a warrior on a keyboard, or writing stories, whatever it is, even singing. This is you on purpose, showing up as the authentic self that you are. No one is going to learn from you. No one is going to be saved from you. No one is going to be helped from you. And no one is going to be fixed from you, because it will be their perspective of what they've decided you have done for them. All you can do is be the love that you are. What is so amazing in that awakening is knowing you're exactly where you are on purpose. And whatever you choose to do or be in the action of it is why you're supposed to be there on purpose. There's many, many different ideas of what could happen in that time. The one you choose to stand up in and be is where you are, and you're going to sit and contemplate in, knowing everything that I created was from myself showing up in this moment, and everything I did is my accountability and responsibility to where. Is there a ton of different options that could have happened for you? Abso-freaking-lutely. And those are the different timelines that you play on. Is there stupid people? That's a loaded question. Let's go deeper. Are there in this reality humans that do not have a soul? And any of you that have gone onto that awakening journey know there are. Some are known as NPCs, some are known as clones, some are known as synthetics or as shapeshifters. There's a plethora that you can go down and find, and we're telling you, even from your spiritual sense, if you're in a religious sense, that it is in many of the Bibles that talk about the clones of the soulless beings as well, and the fallen ones, and the dark ones, the parasites that I call them. And so, is there, the more awake you become, do you realize there are certain agendas? Do you see that in the inner cities, the big metropolises, why there is such an inversion happening compared to the rural countrysides? Why are there some people that no matter what you say, it goes right past them? This is part of the Great Awakening. And for what I do for a living, and the reason hypnosis and hypnotherapy is the bomb and where it is because everything is from a belief system that becomes the program of the life that you are playing out in. 98% of every program you run of your life is from your subconscious mind, which is the subcontext of everything you've been taking in continually over and over and over again. That is how brainwashing happens. That is what mass hypnosis is called. And it can be used for great and it can be used for evil, and has. As some of my clients that I've had come to me and we've had to use parts therapy on because they have had multiple personalities infused into them through harm, through torture, through fantastic, beautiful experiences as well. Anything that you are on repeat with will become a natural running program. So in that context, why do I ask you to get away from television and social media and radio and going to the movies? There are subliminal messages continually in all of those areas. It is a program designed to help you become manifestors of this reality. Let's take it deeper. Let's help you remember who you really are. A sentient being who is an experience of Source itself is the only thing that can manifest here on this plane. Why do what you consider the dark ones, or what I call the parasites, who you believed have been the puppet masters playing you? Do you realize that this whole society is an inversion? You are the masters. All sentient beings are the masters that are creating the reality. Why do they need you? Because without you, that reality cannot be manifest and stay into a place of what looks like a solid form, because they can't manifest it for themselves. They're not a part of, they are distorted from, they have lost their soul, they've lost their way. Everything comes from source. But the further and further inverted they became, the more they believed there was no form of source. They are so taken away and fractaled from, and the deeper they went, the darker and scarier it got. And so, is there stupid people? There are programs out there on purpose. And then there are those that have been heavily manipulated through our air, through our water, through what we eat, through what we ingest mentally, emotionally, through what we've been injected with, so that it can start to harm our divine natural attributes and our real natural attributes. And this is what we talk about in whole life practitioner, as what spiked proteins are, that go in and have spikes on them, and they literally destroy your helix of that DNA and RNA sequence. And how they've been able to have heavy metals completely try to shut down the pineal gland, which is your third eye, which is where your sleep, where your amount of light code that comes in, all of your circadian method comes in, which is the next into the pituitary and hypothalamus, into the thyroid, into the thymus, into your adrenals, into your pancreas, into your sexual organs, then into all the other glands. Are there people that choose to be asleep? Yes. You were there once. You were there once. And you either had a negative experience that shook you and woke you and made you sit back and realize something's not right here, or you had a glorious moment that shook you, that awakened you to a glorious moment. Everything in between, because we live in that paradox. Something awakened you in that moment on purpose because of who you are and what you are ready, willing, and allowing. And it's all about the allowing. So are there stupid people? There are programs on purpose trying to keep you in a matrix of a movie that is wanting to keep you in control. If you want to go down even deeper, let's go into the resets, all the different great resets that have happened, that have been hidden, that many of you are starting to have fantastic access to, whether it was the mud floods, the Tartarian empires, the where that was Lemuria or Mu, or if it was about Atlantis, about all the different things that are starting to come up because you want to know. Because the more you are ready to know, it presents itself. We cannot teach anyone anything. It's their perception of if you taught them something. What's so great in the practice that I do is I know all it is me helping you get to the best parts of you. Keeps your ego out of it. And that's what's so great. And that's why my intuition is so spot on, because it keeps me out of the way so they know exactly what to do to get you to you. And that is what's so fantastic. And that's why I do not believe in calling anyone a healer, because the moment you believe you are a healer, you are projecting to the world people who are broken. And so then who do you need? So you are projecting to someone that they are broken. There are many different forms and modalities out there, and this is why Sitting at the podcast is so great, because this is going to trigger the hell out of you. Because many of you believe that you are doing things to help awaken people. And is it up to you? How dare you decide who someone gets to have experiences of in this lifetime? Some of you have just started having the human experience because you have been in the second density form as plant, as animal, as insect, as bird, no different than the first density form of our elements of air, water, fire, elements, into the third density. And some of you have had so much experience in that third density form, you are done. Not only do you have no t-shirt left because you didn't even use it as a rag anymore, you are done with the experience. And that's why you are called to more of the fourth density experience, which is more into the Christed consciousness. Some are just beginners in it. And I'll use this analogy. Have you seen dogs out there or cats out there that are definitely just dogs? And you think they're stupid and they're just dumb dogs. No, they are just in their beginning stages in the instinct of playing out the purpose of being that second density being, which is a dog. And then if any of you have ever met my dog, Marty, Marty is a highly advanced ready because he's ready for the next experience as a human experience. And they will purposefully want to be around a third density experience to learn what they're getting ready to shift into. No different than many of you who are ready for that next experience and why you are more prone to be magnetically attracted to star families, star races, planetaries, existing galaxies, universes, multiverses, more that is out there than this earthly plane. This is why competing and comparing is absolutely toxic, because your individual blueprint of who you are, what others on the other side of this veil see, they see you as a song, as a frequency, and a beautiful rainbow and plasma of colors. Not comparable ever. And that's why even the multiverses can feel you and see you, because you are an individual experience and expression of Source itself. Why then are you so amazing and so important? One of the biggest things I do with a lot of my clients is on this journey, sitting in my chair, is I have you go, whether it's the dollar store, wherever you go, where there are marbles. And I want you to pick out the most beautiful blue orb marble that looks like the earth to you, how you understand it to be. And the reason I want you to have it is because I want you to put it into the center of the palm of your hand. And then put your hand around it and realize that the me having the experience of all that is nothing compared to who I really am, having this tiny little experience on this beautiful blue orb. And yes, she is an orb. She is not flat. She is not round. She is an orb. She is multi-dimensional. And that's another thing to sit in, is what you call Earth is being. And she is moving back into, from the inverted, from the fall that had happened, she's moving back into Earth, Terra, Gaia, Sophia, the embodiment of all she is and her dimensions and higher. So it's very hard, can be very frustrating, because many of you are frustrated right now because you just can't. And you feel like you are being punished the more awake you become. And can you change anybody's mind? Do we, as parents, if any of you are fur baby parents or children parents, have you had to have them experience it themselves? Or can you tell them not to do something or to do something? How defiant are most people in this world? Do they need to learn through the experience and the lesson? Yes. And there are many of you, and it's never been your job to awaken anyone. People learn through the leading. So what happens when you get past first of the anger that happens within the awakening, that, oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening. I can't believe I've allowed this to happen. I will never let this happen again. I want to tell the masses so that this doesn't happen again. to it is not up to the masses, it is up to me as the responsible one I am to lead by example. What happens when you lead by example? Your magnetic attraction is going to bring to you those who are ready to handle being around you. That's called leveling up. Otherwise, it will be the easiest way to keep you away. Why are some people so scared of you when they've never ever met you, but they can feel you and they have to stay really far away from you? Because the more you are love-centered, whole, and true, all that is false, fake, and broken and fractaled will repel itself from you. And the law of attraction is real. The law of cause and effect is real. And the more that you decide from the inside of all that you are to create your heaven, your bubble of heaven here on purpose, you will see it outside of you, because all of heaven is created within you. Everything, every thought, every feeling happens from within you and is projected to the outer world of what it is. That is why, and they have proven it without a shadow of a doubt, that when we have people visualize or actually do a task, there is no different. It doesn't see the difference. When you are so focused into the feeling, the taste, the excitement, the whole mental projection around you of what you see and dream and feel, and the longer that you sit in the manifesting of it as it is playing out, the quicker it becomes the reality of what you're going to play in, or that timeline you're creating and sitting into, and you believe it is a fixed thing, but it is never fixed. In your awakening, the reason things aren't playing out the way you would like them to is because you aren't alone here. You are many other people that are involved in it. So the deeper you go into being away from that which you do not want anymore and building on purpose the life that you are a creator in, this is where joy, fun, happiness, and adventure come back, and fulfillment. The biggest thing they've done on this plane of existence is made you believe you need to be serious. And if anything has happened in the last 6 years alone, let alone all that before, it made everyone feel like they needed to be serious. And serious is a very low humdrum frequency. Did you know that innocence and purity is one of the highest vibrations? How easy was it on this earthly plane to be able to hold us into a prison system by taking away innocence and purity? First, in the innocence of the child and the purity of the feminine, who is life itself. And now how you've seen it on many aspects of society where it is the most oppressed. What's happening now is the joy and the fulfillment. The more that you create the joy of what you are through your creative expression, the more light started to hold itself on this plane, which started taking her out of inverted back into elevation. You can't fix anyone, you can't save anyone, you cannot help anyone, but you can love them. And the only way they're going to have that love is through the feeling of it, through the action of it. When you are love, love does not tolerate lack. That is how we got here. That is how it inverted and was perverted. So listen to yourself. To the me, the myself, and the I of all that is, I am. Start to feel in sync, not away from. Let's take you deeper. The conscious, the subconscious, the superconscious. The me, the conscious. The self, the subconscious. The I am of superconsciousness. I hope this helps you have a little bit more to sit in this week as you let go of believing you have to be anything to anyone, but be heaven here now to yourself. And the more heaven you are, the more you love yourself so wholly, fully, you can't help but spread it out to the rest of all that is. And all that is a bunch of the yous having experiences, experiencing what they want. The law of nature, or nature's law, excuse me, God's law, the galactic law, is first do no harm. You're allowed to create whatever it is that you require for that next experience, so long as you're not causing harm on another. What a beautiful place to be able to be a creator and feel joy, fulfillment, and just be on purpose. Banding with a community in unity, wanting to also expand in those experiences of fulfillment and joy and heaven here now. Grand abundance and prosperity. Thank you for this week for Sitting It, the podcast, on, I believe it's season 3, episode 3. So again, please do like, subscribe onto Opening Doors Productions on YouTube. There is a plethora of Sitting It podcasts there. Yes, one of the reasons of the last part of Steve's question is why are they not labeled? Is because we want you out of your mind. We want you into the feeling your way. And every one of those podcasts, there's something in it. If you were drawn to it and you click on it, there will be something in it for you to expand in. Whether you are triggered by it, don't want to hear it, want to fight with it, or feel something amazing in it going, oh, aha. And this is what it's all designed for. Because you are on purpose. Your journey is completely separate from anyone else's. It is perfect as you are, ever expanding on purpose. So please do send your question to support@livingwholeonpurpose.com. And we will see you next week or next time that there are questions. There will be no podcasts unless there are questions, because ask and it is given. Other than that, it doesn't happen. So have the most amazing milliseconds, moments, breaths, days, weeks, months, and years, being you on purpose.